Welcome to another episode of the Locked It series where our team shares with you some of the trade secrets as to how we sell a home at record prices or even offload some homes that has been stuck in the market for some time.
Yeah.
And today, we have none other than a familiar face who is the team lead of our luxury team as well as the director of operations in J&A Real Estate, Geraldine Satrio.
Hello.
Hey, that would have been the most friendly welcome ever. Leh. Hello. Okay, but anyways, thanks so much for watching this episode. And if you are new to this series or episode, right, the reason why we decided to do this Locked It series is actually for two main target audiences, okay? First target audience are for realtors. Why? Because some of the realtors out there, they're facing some issues with their listings.
Yeah.
And they don't know how they should sell it. What else can they do? Is it to always adjust prices or is there something more that can be done? So this series is to share with you what are some things that we have done to move your listing. Number two, most importantly, is also to be able to share with you, specifically to the owners who may have given up their listing, thinking of not selling anymore because 3, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years in the market, it has been stuck. And you're wondering like, hey, I'm not too sure what's happening. Should I give up? Is it because the market hits the listing, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to share with you that actually all listings that we sell, specifically in the capital markets team and luxury team especially, is also facing the same issues in the past, right? And how we find solutions to mitigate it, right? So if you're wondering how you can contact us, there are 3 methods, okay? Number 1 is that you can contact us through scanning our QR code on WhatsApp that's down below. If you're a seller looking to sell a place, you can scan a QR code. Number 2, if you are a realtor wanting to find a friend to talk to on how to sell a home that you're stuck for your sellers for a long time and you're feeling a bit bad and guilty already, okay? There's going to be a QR code here and then you can scan the QR code. And then the third way that you can contact us is that there'll be our number here that's going to appear here and you can contact our AI-powered client care, J-Dot, that is going to be there to answer some of the questions that you may have and they will bring the questions to us. Okay, so this is the ways that you can contact us. All right, so today, Geraldine, we're going to be talking about this very interesting listing.
Yeah.
That's been stuck in the market for
3 months, 3-4 months.
3-4 months before we took it on.
Yeah.
And this is in District
10.
Absolutely. In the core central region at Goodwood Residence.
Yes.
So share with us a little bit more, like what made this deal so locked it worthy?
Okay, so some background about this development. Actually, this development is in Goodwood. It's actually located in Newton, just a short walk from Newton MRT station. It's actually a very nice development, but I think location-wise, some people, they don't know about this development unless they drive past it.
Yeah.
It's actually, if you actually drive past it, it has like this wooden design look from the outside. It's really nice. And when you walk in, the development feels really luxurious. It's not like any other boutique developments in the surrounding area.
Yeah.
So when I took this up, I was very confused why it wasn't moving because I thought units like this would be able to move and get buyers on its own.
Quickly.
Yeah, quickly.
So maybe before we share a little bit more about the quantum, how much was the property priced at? Was it asking at above market price and blah, blah, blah? What were the challenges that the owners faced with their previous agents? And then from there we can share with the audiences so that they don't make the same mistakes as well.
Yeah. So before we took it up, I think we can start first with how this owner decided to engage us.
Yes.
So actually, this owner didn't reach out to us to help them sell this listing at that time. They wanted us to help sell another listing and also to help them rent out this other listing in Tiong Bahru area. Yeah. And I think just within 1 to 2 weeks, we managed to get a tenant for her rental place in Tiong Bahru.
Very fast. It was very fast.
Just within 1-2 weeks.
Yeah.
And the good thing was because of that, she had a trust in us that we were able to deliver results.
She saw the results.
She saw the results already before she actually asked us to help with this listing.
Yeah.
And so that was when she started asking us to help her with this.
Yes.
But of course, usually before we take up any listings, we would help our owners to analyze the pricing first. Because sometimes some owners, they don't even know
what's the pricing,
why their listing is not moving.
Yeah.
So before we took it up, it was already on the market for about 3 to 4 months.
Yes.
I think no offer.
Yes, zero
offer, and
we saw the
no
photos
updates.
that was marketed.
Yeah. No updates also.
Yes, so there were no updates, no offers, no updates from the current agent, and the photos also weren't the best lah, right? Yeah. And one thing that I also realized in a lot of agents, what's the reason why a lot of realtors are not updating the owners? It's because sometimes, right, they feel very guilty that there's no results and they don't know what else can be done. So they think that, especially in a luxury condominium like this, right, it takes time. How long did we get it sold within?
So usually exclusives are around 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
And the owner gave us 3 months for this. In this 3 months, we managed to get 2 offers.
Yes.
First offer was within the first month.
Yes.
that was at 7.38 million.
Yes.
Yeah, so valuation then was 7.1 million.
Yeah.
7.38, yeah, so 280k above valuation. The last transacted was around 7.15.
Yeah.
For a slightly smaller unit, 4 bedrooms but slightly smaller unit. Yeah, so we thought, 7.38, it's a super good offer for the owner. We thought the owner would definitely accept it.
Yeah.
But it came with a condition of a longer option period.
I remember.
Because this buyer that offered, they haven't sold their place yet. And I think I don't know why, but in this market, it's quite normal for buyers to just shop around before before selling.
Yeah.
And I thought it wouldn't be an issue for the owner because they're not staying there anyway.
Yes.
And another challenge that I haven't mentioned was that this unit is actually tenanted for another 1 to 1.5 years. And a lot of these buyers who are buying a property in this area, they are looking to move in for their own stay.
Yeah,
they're not looking to rent it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing is the rental was really low. Average there was about 17,000 a month. This rental was only about 12.5k a month. So it doesn't even entice buyers that this is a good property for rental because it doesn't cover the mortgage at all.
Yeah.
So that was another challenge. So when we got the offer 7.38, I think you remember we presented this to the owner, thinking, we got a good.
Yes, a good deal. A really good deal. I mean, it's like zero offers and it's 180k above valuation.
We were so excited. 280k.
280k, sorry, and it was the highest per square foot transacted. Really, that's the highest PSF they can hit.
Yeah.
For D9, 10, 11 property, this specifically in District 10, to get an above PSF transaction for a tenanted unit within the first 2 months of marketing it is something that is stellar, right? And we really spent a lot of time and effort to push it. But
because the option period requested was 3 months plus 3 months, meaning if let's say, within the first 3 months their property is still not sold, they would need another 3 months of extension of option period. But of course it comes with a higher option fee.
Yeah.
And we thought that, there was no offer within the past 3 months of marketing with the previous agent. This is an offer that is a no-brainer to accept.
It's a no-brainer.
But yeah, so for high net worth clients like this, what I learned was they just want a fast free transaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they can make money from a lot of other places.
Yeah, there are a lot of other means for them to make money, and this is just not a risk that they want to take.
Absolutely. Yeah. So before we go into the details, the challenges of the unit before we listed it, because we did analysis for the unit, we're like a doctor, we go in and then we all go and see the listing and see what's happening, why is there no offers, right? And then after that, we talk about the solutions that we have. Maybe we give a bit of a description of this unit. Which floor is it on? How many bedrooms are there? And also what's the size?
Yeah. So this one is a 4-bedroom in Guru Residences. It's on level 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that time, usually every time we take a listing, like I mentioned, we would do up a pricing analysis first to understand how much we should price the unit at.
That's right.
Because a lot of times when owners reach out to us, sometimes they want a pricing they think is reasonable.
Yes.
But they don't know that it's actually way above the valuation.
Or way below sometimes.
Yeah, or sometimes even way below. So they don't even know how much the unit should be priced at. Their previous agent didn't do pricing analysis for them.
Thorough one, yeah.
So both don't even know how much the pricing should be priced at.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I heard this story before and they said that, actually this was actually shared on the pulpit by a pastor. Real estate analogy. It was very good. He said this. He said, today if let's say I want to sell my house at $500,000, right? And the market last transacted, all the valuation is at 480k, but people only want to offer me at 450k. What is the actual valuation of my home? What's the actual worth of my home? The answer is 450k. So a lot of people, when they are thinking about pricing a unit, right, there are two sides to the coin. The first side to the coin is that a lot of agents, they say, okay, let's price it as low as possible so we can get it sold. But they forgot that if you price it low and you sell at a bad price, and when their clients talk to their friends about it and they realize that they trusted the wrong agent, that affects the future business. So it's not good for the agent, right? The second thing is for owners, they want to price it as high as possible because it's either, they have pride in their unit, they're very proud of their unit, home pride, or simply put, they don't know what's the pricing. Or third, which is 90% of the owners, which I don't blame them, is that they feel that, okay, agents just want a quick job done. So I better price it as high as I possibly can, so that it's kind of warrants the commission.
Yeah.
The problem with pricing too high, then again, it means that number one, there's no enquiries, there's no demand. And when there's no demand, what happens is that people will feel that this unit is something that is stuck in the market for a long time and no one wants it.
Yeah.
Sensitive, very sensitive to the high net worth and ultra net worth market.
Yes.
Because a lot of the realtors in the high net worth and ultra net worth market, like our capital markets team or Lux team, they will know that owners sometimes know listings more than the agents because they have been tracing. So let's understand a bit more. When it comes to thorough price analysis, right, when we're talking about it, what are the processes that we go through
to
understand what is the target audience and what is the targeted demand or price?
Yeah. So whenever we do the pricing analysis, we don't just look at the bank valuation. So usually I would advise the owners, bank valuation is just a guide on how much buyers will be looking at. But whether or not what the offer would come in with is, of course, our expertise, our knowledge that we have to advise buyers, we have to advise owners.
Yes.
And at that time when I was looking at the pricing of this place, I tried to analyze first the development on its own, how much the past transactions were, and the surrounding analysis. So I saw that in the development itself, on the same block, the same stack, there was a unit that was sold on the lower floor at 7.28. So this unit, even though the square footage was a lot bigger than ours, but the livable space was the same. The only difference was the balcony space. So that's where our expertise comes in. So when buyers come over and they share that the pricing that we're asking for is too high, because for us we also want to challenge the higher price for our owners.
Absolutely.
It's our pride.
Every lock date we say that we want to hit high price. If not, we can't sleep.
So for us, we always want to challenge the higher price for the owner. So we always try to identify all these opportunities around with the last transactions or surrounding to the transactions to see how we can challenge that price.
Absolutely.
And for that 2-bedroom, it was transacted at 7.28. PSF wise, it was a lot lower. But if you are looking at the quantum on its own, 7.28 million for a second floor unit, where the livable space is the same, the only difference is the balcony size. Why would you not want to pay 7.28 for a 7th floor?
So just to clarify, it's not a 2-bedroom, but it's a second floor unit, right?
It's a 4-bedroom.
4-bedroom, right? So both are 4-bedroom units. One is on a second floor going at 7.28 with a slightly bigger balcony size. And then you have a 7th floor one that is our unit that we're selling, right? So a lot of agents, when they come to pricing a unit, or owners, when they come to pricing a unit, right, they always look at two things. Number one is bank valuation, and number two is SRX valuation. Okay, let me just share with you this. I don't know why, but I feel that increasingly SRX valuation is not getting very accurate anymore, right? And because there's an algorithm behind that gives you a very quick way of getting a valuation of a home, but it's not actually very accurate. And we have seen so many transactions where it's selling way above SRX valuation or potentially even under SRX valuation because there's no demand. Number two is bank valuation. Okay, let's just talk about bank valuation. Bank valuation is one of the most inaccurate ways you can get valuation from. I think this will go viral after I say this. Okay, the reason behind that is because different banks and different bankers give different valuations. So ultimately, bank valuation is about the banker's appetite on whether they want to give that kind of loan for that kind of property. But if with justification and with an option to purchase, most of the time they can match the valuation one. So instead of just looking at these 2 points, right, whether you're a realtor or a seller, think of how to price your unit well. Number one, find our team. Talk to our team. How you price clearly. Just now, when we were talking to Charlie in the previous episode, right, he shared about how the valuation was 575. He got it sold at 630. That helped owners make 55K. He bought a unit at 2.18 million. That was the valuation. He got the unit for his buyer at 2.038 million. That saved another $100,000, right? So this is not just the two steps. The third step that you need to focus on is to take a look at what is the last transacted, like what Jeremy mentioned. Go deep. Talk to the owners. This is hard work, guys. If you're an agent watching this, you need to put in the hard work because the owners are paying you for this, right? If not, rather just pay a 1% agent or just automate the whole process, right? So go deep, talk to the current agents who are listing properties in the market, make good friends with them, understand what is the demand, how's the demand, what's the pricing that is moving the listing, any last offers, and then go deep into the floor plans to compare the differences. Once you do that, you will have to do a surrounding competitor analysis to know if a buyer were to first step into the development, what are they comparing to and what will they be referencing from? They'll be referencing for some things. SRX, that's number one. Number two, they talk to the banker. The banker always want to tell them a low valuation so that you can keep a good relationship. Can you imagine a banker who give you higher than valuation? You will hate the banker and not use them forever, right? Third, you will ask, what other choices I have? And fourth, maybe the realtor can convince me a bit why I should buy this unit to pay $7 million, right? So this is just a trick and a tip for you to do a pricing. Okay, there's way more than that. I think we have like a 6 to 8 step process, but it's like rinse and repeat for us. Every single listing we go to, just remember this as we go along. Okay, sure. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, regarding your point on bank valuation, I completely agree because I had this buyer before for another listing that told me that the max they want to pay for this unit is 4.8 million because the valuation from their bank is 4.8 million. But I managed to get in touch with another banker from the same bank that could give me a valuation of 5 million. So what's the actual valuation of the unit, right?
Absolutely.
It's always, so it's these are ways we try to find opportunities in the market, whether or not you're buying a property or whether or not you're selling a property. There are always ways to get opportunity in the market from analyzing surrounding properties.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it can be expensive. It can look expensive then, if let's say you're from the buy side. But if you're looking at surrounding supplies and there's no supply, then maybe you're actually getting a good deal for yourself.
That's good. Yeah. Let's check in a little bit more. So how much was this unit sold in the end?
So this was finally sold at 7.28 million.
7.28 million, and that was the record per square foot in the entire Goodwood residence, right? And until a penthouse beat our PSF.
Yeah.
Because the penthouse is, as you know, penthouses in CCR, right? They are always of high demand because the supply is very low. And it's a very niche target group, right? So I would say the highest per square foot non-penthouse unit that we have sold till now set a record, right? Yeah. We sold it when? 2023?
2023, the completion?
Yes.
I think completed was just around last month.
Yeah. But we optioned it out in...
Option around November.
November 2023, right? So
October,
it's about
November.
Four months back, right? What was the SRX valuation?
SRX valuation was around 6.9 million.
So 6.9?
Yeah.
Bank valuation was about hovering around 7.17 to 7.1, and we sold it at 7.28. Do you all see the discrepancy and difference now?
Yeah.
If today we just take it wholesale, our client will have lost $380,000. And it's money, it's not paper, it's really decay. Okay, so when we took on this listing and when our owners spoke to us that the current agents are taking, we always do a listing analysis and a research to see what's happening to the listing first. What were the challenges that you felt that this listing faced?
Yeah, so usually, I don't know why, but a lot of owners like to reach out to us after the unit has been on the market for 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, so please, right, if the listing hasn't been cao sheng yet, right, you can reach out to us also. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was already on the market for 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
So when you take up this listing, it's not a new listing on the market anymore. So it's not fresh. Buyers like a fresh new listing.
Yeah, so the most important part of marketing a home is to choose the right team. It may not be us, it will most likely be us, but if it's us, that's when the first week and second week of marketing, you will realize this. The listings that we take that are fresh, right, within the first week we get offers already.
Yeah.
Because the first month is where the listing is the most fresh and where buyers want to offer. A lot of owners, they find us after 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year to give us a challenge. But thank you owners for supporting us and giving us challenges.
Yeah, so another challenge is the layout.
Yeah.
So the layout of this unit, it's actually surrounded by planters and balcony. So the square footage is 2454 square feet.
Yes.
But not the entire 2454 is livable space.
Yes.
And I think if you guys know, Singaporeans, they like livable space.
They don't want wasted space.
They don't want wasted space.
So small already outside, how to have wasted space?
Exactly. Yeah. So because of that, the livable space considering that it's a 2454 square feet, you would think the bedrooms would be big. But in this case, because there are planters in all the bedrooms, it feels a lot smaller for the bedrooms. Yeah. So that's one of the main objections that I faced. And then second was the balcony space. So there are different types of balcony spaces for this stack.
Yeah.
There are some that's more squarish. There's some that's more rectangular.
Elongated.
Yeah. So a lot of these buyers coming, they prefer the squarish type of balcony because they felt it was more usable compared to something that's narrower. Yeah. You can't really put like a proper dining table. So that's one of the main objections. But I felt that all of this didn't matter because after all, there's another listing that is selling at around 8 million for the squarish balcony. Yes. But till now, it's still on the market.
Oh no, the sellers must be very...
Yeah, so these are ways I try to identify the unique selling point of this unit. So even if I'm selling another unit in the development, I would find the USP of that unit compared to this unit. Yeah. So every unit always has its own USP. Yeah. And this unit layout itself, when I tried to analyze the floor plan and everything in the surrounding area, Goodwood is the only 4-bedroom that's above 2,000 square feet. The surrounding developments are all boutique developments. Yeah. And the square footage for 4-bedroom is about 1,300, 1,400, 1,500 square feet.
Don't have a large floor plate like
There's no large floor plate like Goodwood residence. So these are ways we try to find to sell the USP for our buyers. Yes. So that when they come over, when they have any objections, this is how we handle them.
And fun fact, this was a home that we sold without a video.
Yeah, no video.
Because it was tenanted, right? Yeah. And the tenant, we respect their privacy, right? But we make good friends with the tenants, right? Yeah. And this is also important. So pro tip number 2, always be cordial with your tenants. Always make sure that your tenants are in good hands because they are opening their homes. Yeah. It's a private space. I know, they don't own the home, but they're opening a private space. So, we love to, the word is not bribe. The word is love them a lot, right? Yeah. Because we honestly, and a lot of them became our very good friends who went on to buy something with us or eventually, after some years, they sold something with us, right? Yeah. So that's pro tip number 2. Pro tip number 3 is this. Remember this. Every single listing has its own unique selling proposition. Yeah. It is not that a listing, unique selling proposition must be its pricing. Yeah. But it requires hard work from the realtors to go down to the ground to go and figure out what is the exact USP. Making calls to Colebrook, talking to past buyers, understanding what is the problem with the past demand, why the listing is not moving, going into surrounding developments to know what your competitors are. These are the work that an agent has to do, right? So, all right. So understanding you a little bit more, right? this home was not sold through a video, okay? Then how was it sold? Because a lot of people think that J&A is just a home that a team that sells through videos only.
Yeah, so a lot of owners think that our strength only lies in video marketing.
It's not true, okay?
Yeah, it's not true.
It's just supplementary.
Yeah, so it's not true. It helps with exposure of your place.
The caption will be, J&A don't do videos to sell
J&A don't do videos anymore. Yeah, but
yes,
video is not our only strength. And that's what a lot of people think, because maybe we portray ourselves that way through our YouTube, through our Instagram.
That's how they meet us. That's how you guys meet us also.
Yeah, but that is not our only expertise. We dive deep into analysis.
Yeah.
We try to build good relationships, not only with our owners, but also with their tenants.
Yes.
Because first, the owners also have a good relationship with the tenant. Yeah. So we don't want to come in and just ruin that.
Absolutely.
And we don't just build good relationships with the tenant. We build good relationships with their helper.
Yes, their helper is very important because they're the gatekeepers.
They're the ones helping to clean up the place and everything.
Hey, very cool to declutter. They are the ones that declutter the place before reviewing.
Yeah, so before we took up this listing, the previous agent was taking photos of the table, the floor. And this is not something that you want to help the clients to portray their unit. If let's say it's a 7 million home,
yes,
you want to make sure that it looks like a 7 million home.
Yes,
it feels like a 7 million home.
This is for the cam, right? So this is the reason why Geraldine specifically says. So I mean, she was our top rookie in J&A back in 2021. Yeah, and she joined the sales force in 2022. Got headhunted over immediately. One of my top choices, my first choice actually, one of my first few choices. And then it did really well in mass market, by the way. And then suddenly decided to make her life a bit tougher and came to us and said, you know what, guys, we have been blessed by a lot of luxury clients who called us. And I feel that the way that the luxury homes are being sold is wrong. It's completely wrong.
Yeah.
And then I looked at her, I said, yeah, it's really wrong. But then we were so busy, we didn't have specialization. Now we have a specialized team just for her, which is the luxury team, and we are seeing track record. So maybe before we go on to some of the other challenges of the listing, right, share with maybe our viewers, right, why luxury? People always think luxury is just because it's atas, but luxury is very hard to sell. So why luxury?
Yeah, so a lot of people think that luxury homes are easy to sell because it's nice. And people and buyers of this price range, they have the money.
Yeah.
But fun fact, I felt like buyers of this price range, they don't even want to pay at valuation.
So if you are a buyer at this price range plus a Singaporean, it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would think that it would be, easier to sell because buyers of this price range, they have the money.
Yeah. Even I would want to negotiate a good price.
Yeah. So, and in fact, people in the mass market, buyers around the 1 to 3 million price range,
sometimes
they're more willing to pay above valuation.
Yes.
And I'm very confused why.
I was just sharing with was it Charlie or was it Kimberly in our previous Locked episode that it is because this successful ultra high net worth or high net worth, right, they made a lot of calculated risk in life. So to them, everything is back to calculations, especially in Singapore, right? Where we earn a lot of money through margins, right? Being a middleman and stuff like that. So calculations is important. So that's the reason why they want to calculate before buying. Yeah.
So like for this buyer that bought the Goodwood residences at 7.28, it took like 2-3 weeks for us to get to 7.28 million.
Follow up and renegotiate non-stop.
We had to follow up every 2-3 days.
2-3 days, like a possessive girlfriend or boyfriend.
Yeah, even though 7.28 was actually a really good price already for Goodwood residences from the buy side and also for the sales from the sell side, but it was so hard to push to that price.
Absolutely.
They felt that they were paying overpriced, but if you look at the surrounding transactions, it's not.
Yes.
But if let's say this is actually in the mass market below 3 million, all these buyers would pay without hesitation. Without thinking, without hesitation.
Correct. So this is pro tip number 4.
Yeah.
In order for you to sell a listing at top price, if you're a realtor and you say that, I have not been selling homes at top price, it always seems like I have to go back to the price adjustment question to my owner again. It is because you are not convicted and passionate enough to sell a listing. One common thing you see amongst the people in Locked It, right, is that they all have the passion when it comes to representing the home. And how to have that passion? You need to have the knowledge and the competence to know why your listing is the best and is something that other buyers should consider. And this is the trade secret number 4. Okay, so you were talking about some of the challenges that you faced just now, right? So what were the solutions that you actually, embarked on to make sure this listing was sold? Within 2 months, right?
Yeah, within 2 months. So first, of course, it's pricing the unit right. A lot of problems or challenges that owners face, not knowing what's happening with their unit.
Yes.
It's always about pricing.
That's right.
So for example, we just had this person reach out to us and she doesn't know why the unit's not selling. So it turns out that it's a 1 bedroom at 2 million, which not a lot of people are willing to pay a 1 bedroom for 2 million because they are able to buy a 3 bedroom in other places, not in the city area.
Yeah.
So these are ways you try to identify the challenge, and from there, actually a lot of problems that for listings that's not able to move, actually about the pricing.
Absolutely.
And not knowing how to price it right,
Yeah.
that's always the main challenge that owners and other agents face.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's always the first step.
Yeah. I realized that a lot of owners, when they want to price their unit high, right, it's because they want to hit record transaction. But fun fact, 80% of the homes that we sell hit record transactions. And that being said, we always price it accurately. Not low, not very high where there's no inquiries, accurately. Okay, bring us through the whole listing process. So when we took on the listing, what were some of the things that we have done all the way till the closing?
Okay. So after the pricing analysis, owner gave us an exclusive.
Yeah.
We started conducting viewings.
Yeah.
But of course, before that, we asked the tenants for their permission to actually have a look at the unit condition and everything. We initially wanted to do a virtual tour and a home tour because the house was pretty nice on its own.
Yeah. It sells.
But they wanted their own privacy. Like they asked us not to.
Yeah.
And all the photos that we took, they also asked us to share it with them before we actually posted it online because they were not comfortable with having their home on the market. They had their photos, all of this in their home. So I mean, as agents, we wanted to do a home tour, but we had to also respect the tenant's privacy.
Yes.
And we did as told.
Yes.
So after that, we started conducting viewings. But before conducting viewings, we always have this thing called the information kit.
Yeah.
So in the information kit, this is where we compile a lot of information so that it's bulletproof.
Yes.
And then when buyers come over with all these objections, we have this to show them.
We will brainstorm what the objections are. We will come across, we will think about all the objections so that we don't face it in the arena, we always call it, right? And the information kit was done up with the key USP as to why this unit you should buy. Without scamming the person, without conning our buyers. I was just talking to some of our guests as well, that we always believe in good relationship, not just with our sellers, but with our buyers as well. Because the reputation of the team is important. If buyers feel that this team always scam buyers and then represent sellers, then no one's going to buy the listing, right? Yeah, so that's what we said. Yeah,
so actually the information kit is always very important for me.
Super
I feel like
important.
it helps me a lot with closing all these deals because buyers are able to see all these transactions right there when they're at the viewing. So it's all transparent data.
Yeah, they can justify themselves on the spot, right? And it's important because this is pro tip number 5, right? As the realtor, as we've mentioned just now, the conviction is trained because of knowledge, competence, and research. You can't go in expecting to open the door and then hoping that, the home is going to sell by itself. It doesn't work that way. If you have been selling homes like this, you can't carry on doing this because I always tell this to the team. I said this before, a monkey can sell a home better than a real estate agent if that's what he or she does. Because the monkey's still cute. The monkey can open the door, act cute a bit, climb around, provide some entertainment. A realtor, if just open the door and say, you view yourself.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point? You're not doing the selling. Yeah.
It has to feel like a 7 million property.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so after marketing the listing on the market, right? Were there a lot of inquiries? Because it's the third month of marketing by the previous agent, right? We took on exclusive. I mean, were there a lot of inquiries or was it like dripping, like buyers?
Yeah, we had about 2 to 3 a week.
Nice.
And another thing that we did was to reach out to co-broke agents who were marketing listings in the area.
Yes.
So if they have buyers, they could also bring it to your unit because sometimes there are a few listings in the market, in the development especially. And at that time, I think there was about 2 or 3 others in the market.
Yeah.
Aside from ours.
Yes.
And why would they want to bring it to yours?
Correct.
So if you reach out to them, you're bringing exposure not only through Property Guru, but also directly to these agents who already have filtered buyers for your listing.
Yeah. And this is pro tip number 6, right? A lot of agents always like to be against co-broke agents.
Yeah.
We love co-broke agents. One of the secret we always do, right, is that every single time when we take out listing, right, we will make friends with all the co-broke in the development so that they know that after selling their home, they can bring the buyers to our place. Or if the buyers feel that their home is not suitable, they can bring it over to our place.
Yeah.
And we pay, honestly, it's like either market rate or slightly above market rate commission with co-broke agents so that we can get the home sold, right?
Yeah.
There are some teams that we know are paying like 0.25% co-broke when they're taking 0.5%. Oh, we don't do that, right? And that's the reason why it motivates the co-broke agents to push our deal as well. And that's how our sellers are happy.
Yeah, and even one of them, one of the co-broke that brought the buyer and the buyer ended up not buying.
Yeah.
Another co-broke reached out to him for his listing.
Yes.
But he said, if my listing is not suitable, you can reach out to this person. She has a listing in Goodwood Residences.
Nice. Yeah. The word of mouth, right?
Yeah. And we're not even in the same agency.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we also try to build good relationship with co-brokers.
Yes, which is very important. Yeah. So now let's go into specifically the buyer demographic that came, right?
Yeah.
What are the types of buyers that came for a $7.3 million property in District 10?
So a lot of the inquiries came from PRs. And I think there was
Chinese PRs specifically?
Chinese PRs. One of them was Indonesian PR.
Nice.
Yeah, so in that development, I realized that there were a lot of Caucasians.
Yes.
A lot of SPR Chinese
Yes.
and also Indonesians. Yeah, even the helper was telling me, hey, there's a lot of Indonesians over here, you should go get their contacts. I was like, how about you get their contact from me? Yeah, but the helper was so cooperative. Like, every time before I go for the viewing, I was like, hey, can you help me turn on the lights? Can you help me open up all the curtains? She would do it for me, and then I would super nice helper, by the way. And so after that, we had the offer come in. So he's already a Singapore PR, but his nationality was from China. A lot of the buyers coming in were from China with Singapore PR. And I think at that time was also around the time where the money laundering case was happening. Yeah, so some of them came in saying that they want to put it on hold because they want to wait and see what happens to the market.
Whether the Birkin bags and the Ferraris.
Yeah, whether the Birkin bags, the Ferrari, the Alphas are going to be put up on the market.
GCBs can get a $10 million.
Yeah, and I think when this buyer offered and the owner asked, where is he from? I said, he's from China. Is he part of the money laundering?
Yo, no.
I was like, no.
We have so many amazing Chinese friends who are not part of it.
Yeah, I was like, not everyone from China is part of the money laundering case. So when the offer came in, I remember, because it was also it's not a normal completion timeline. It was slightly extended.
Absolutely.
And this owner, they were firm with wanting a standard completion timeline.
And the buyer was very sincere. They gave above 1% option fee.
Yeah.
They gave 3%, right?
Yeah.
And 3% option fee. There was a 3 months extension. But I still remember we got the check. We were like, okay, wow, we did a good job. Right? We were like, okay, it's really God's grace. We went to meet the owner. The owner said, no. We're like, why no?
Yeah.
Right? This is the first time, I rarely get stumbled in negotiation.
Yeah.
This is the first time I stumbled. But she made sense. She is the ex, if I'm not wrong, a second woman of Citibank, and her husband used to be the CEO of Deutsche Bank, right? And he said, come on, think about it. Every single month is wasted returns for us. We're like, oh yeah, you're a banker. It's opportunity cost, right?
Yeah.
So how did we navigate it, or did we drop the buy in the end and focus on the other buy?
Yeah, so we had two offers, right? The first offer was a 7.38 million. This one was a Singaporean couple, and the husband's occupation was a doctor. And at that time, they didn't sell their place yet, so they needed a 6 months option period because they didn't know if their house could sell within that 6 months. And we thought, we'll definitely close this 7.38.
We got it.
280K
high option fees some more.
Yeah, and then rejected because of the timeline. And I completely agree. Having dealt with owners of this price range, what they want, like I mentioned earlier, was that they want a fast street transaction. They would rather take a lower price and instead of a higher price but longer option period or longer completion period.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they just don't want to take the risk. Because for them, like this 100, 200K, 300K,
not much of
it's more money for them.
To them, yeah.
Yeah, because like maybe their interest putting it in the bank or even like their own business, can they make 500, 1 million?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a word that I'll never understand. But it's true. And when we understood from the client's perspective, it made it easier for us to navigate rather than take it personally.
Yeah.
I realized that this is something, pro tip number 7, right? Is that there is something that a lot of realtors like to do. They like to take everything the owners do towards them personal. But you must understand this. Don't take it personally. Focus on the deal. Right? Because the owners have their own perspective and we have to respect that. And one thing that I realized that we did really well, right, was that we kept our positivity throughout. Because normally, you got 7.38. The valuation was like 7.1, 280K above. You're like, I got a pat on my back. I did well. Hey, they had 6 months. We navigated. We got a higher option fee to secure the buyer. And then we got a nice timeline for our owners. And she said no.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, trust. Let's just try another one.
Yeah. Let's focus on the next buyer.
So it could have been 7.38, but our owners accepted 7.28. 100K because
of a shorter completion timeline.
Another buyer, right?
Yeah, another buyer. So this one was the buyer that's from China. Yeah. So fun fact, this buyer thought that it was an open listing. He contacted me, he contacted you.
Yes.
Thinking that we are different. We are not from the same team.
Yeah.
Hoping that he can get a lower price. But after contacting all of them, he still came back to me.
This is the unity of the team.
Yeah.
We will never undercut or we never talk down on anybody. But we were very aligned. So when you're represented by GN Real Estate, if you're a seller or buyer, don't worry. We have your interest in mind.
Yeah. So he was thinking that he could get a lower price because we were from different team, but we were all from the same team. And so his agent was telling him that, they're all from the same team. So no point for you to reach out to all these different agents.
Yeah.
So we were all aligned that, this is the fixed price.
Yes.
Nothing below.
Yes.
He finally came back after 3 weeks with a check of 2%.
Wow.
Beautiful. Of the purchase price.
Beautiful. How do you feel when you receive the offer? We didn't expect right? Yeah. We thought that, okay, the 7.38 is gone. Most likely it's gone. We need to fight a few months. But how do you feel after the offer came in?
Yeah, I mean, I will never give up for the owners.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as they trust us,
Yes.
I will give my 100%.
Yes.
Yeah, no matter what. And when we came back, initially it came in at 7.18, 7.2, went to 7.25, finally 7.28. I said, okay, time to present to the owner before the buyer walks away.
Yeah.
And nothing is confirmed until it's signed.
The check is there, the option is signed, right?
So we finally managed to get it signed.
Something that you mentioned really good, very, very well through the process is that we didn't just get a 7.28 million offer and then we just presented the owner. Actually, they started from 7.2, 7.21, 7.23, 7.25, which took, I think, 2 to 3 weeks, right? To massage the price up, right? And what you say absolutely is that a good realtor knows how to negotiate very well. This is priority number 8, right? And I really believe that a good realtor knows how to tell the emotional cues of the buyer and know how to balance the tension between the buyer offering more and running away. And once you hit that point, that tipping point, which takes years to hone and experience, right? And being able to handle such skills, such asset classes, right? Is that once you get the highest offer, you can go to the owner with conviction that this is the highest really. There's no more counter offer.
Yeah. At that point, we knew that we already did our best for the owner.
Yes.
And we also knew that this was a record transaction that would
3,000, right? 2,009 plus
2,966.
2,966. Oh, close to 3,000.
Yeah, so it's already a record transaction in the entire development.
Yeah. With a lot of listings stuck in the market and not being able to sell.
Yeah.
And we hit record transaction.
Yeah.
Right? I still remember we were in the client and we were praying. We're like, okay, let's go. And closed. Yeah. Right? If it's for the good for the client, why not, right? Okay, cool. So any other last things you want to talk about for this deal?
Yeah, I mean, having represented all these owners of this price range, and I think earlier you mentioned why we wanted to just challenge ourselves and be in the luxury market is because having seen how other agents represent owners of this price range with the listing that they post on Property Guru or even the quality of service that's provided, I felt that we could come in and do better for these owners.
Yep.
And if you can do that, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes a 7 million listing, you want to make sure it looks like 7 million listing. But sometimes some of these agents, they take photos of the floor and it doesn't represent the unit well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if, let's say I'm putting myself in the shoes of these owners, I don't want my unit to be represented like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. So as per every end of the Lock-In series, I didn't brief you on this, but I'm going to share with you. Every end of Lock-In series, there's always going to be a surprise question.
Okay. So what's the surprise
pull
question?
the heartstring of the broker here so that we can be authentic, vulnerable, and truthful, like what we want to do for our sellers out there, right? Fighting the luxury, so this is the question, right?
Yeah.
Fighting the luxury market is not easy, right? Because I was just having a lock date with Kim previously and she talked about like how people talk about age, and they like to diss us lah, especially if you're a market shifter, right? Or you're a market disruptor, people like to diss you. And we are okay, we're unfazed by that because we accept it, right? And it's not easy.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to find clients.
Yeah.
Right? Clients, hi. Are you there? Yeah. It's not easy, right? So there's a lot more interesting outreach effort that we do besides through our videos or social medias because most of them, they don't watch this, right?
Yeah.
This is actually to benefit other people. So what if in a year or two, let's say 2 years, now it's 2024, 2026, you don't see yourself doing well in luxury, but yet you can hit homes at record transactions. You don't see yourself doing a lot. We don't do a lot of transactions in luxury. Do you think that it's still a calling that you want to change how the market does luxury homes?
Yes. So I think when I first entered the real estate industry, a lot of people tell me that you're so young.
Yes.
I think at that time when we joined, you were 21.
Yeah.
And then I think I joined like 3 years later.
Yeah.
I was about 24, 25 at that time.
Yes, you left a very stable corporate job.
Yeah, I was about 24, 25 at that time. And I had people telling me that, it's not going to be easy, right? Because you're so young. Like, why would I trust you instead of an older agent with more experience? But I came in with the mindset that I'm not going to give up until I make it.
Yes.
And I think good thing is I joined the right team.
Oh.
Of course. So I joined the right team. I had people like yourself who has already went through all of this and shared with me the experiences.
Still going through?
Yeah, I was still going through. Shared with us the experiences of how to go through all of this.
Yes.
I remember like one of the listings that I was selling. This was in District 9 at that time. I think it was one of my first few listings. The owner told me, I don't want to give you an exclusive because I have other agent friends who are older and more experienced. Like I felt that you should learn from them. But out of this 4 agents, I was the one that sold that listing.
Congrats.
And I think you just need to be persistent in this industry.
That's right.
Yeah.
Amazing. It was a clear yes that she will stay on. I mean, 2 years, whether luxury or not, we are here to change the market. We want to change for the good of consumers, not for the sake of proving ourselves. And that's what motivates us every day. If it can be done better, why not let's do it better?
Yeah.
Last question. What is make it for you in real estate? Because you say that I want to work so hard until I make it. What's make it?
Yeah, I think what is make it for me has changed from what made it for me
At the start.
At the start versus now.
Same, yeah.
So at the start made it is like, I just make good money.
Yes.
And then being able to have like a flexible schedule so that I can spend time with
right? Very flexible.
So I can spend time with my family and my friends when I want to, because that's what I wanted when I joined this industry. I couldn't get it in corporate. You can't get that in corporate. So I already have it. I already have that flexible schedule.
Yes. Flexible so much that you can work anytime.
Yeah, I can work anytime.
Yes.
But you work more than
every time.
Yeah.
Anytime, every time. Yeah.
So I always see this quote on Instagram. You leave the 9 to 5 so that you can work 24/7. That is us. But when you're working for yourself, right? You don't feel like you're working 24/7 because you're doing it for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like you are your own CEO lah.
Yeah.
Right? So what's make it to you? What's make it?
Yeah, I think now my definition of make it
like one
is,
focus.
Yeah, my definition of make it is being able to really focus on this luxury market.
Yes.
At that time, make it was that.
Money,
the definite
right?
money and flexibility.
Yeah.
I mean, now, not that I don't have money, I don't have flexibility.
Yes.
I already have flexibility.
And money.
And maybe some money. not a lot of money where I don't need clients.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think for me, make it is, being able to get more clients in this market.
Yes.
And just being able to, if let's say a client wants to sell their whatever property in D9 or 10 or D15, right?
Yes.
The first person the first team they think of is us.
Yes. I must say you are one of the most steadfast women I know. And she's someone, right, that doesn't like words of encouragement. But I always tell her
words
that...
is not my love language.
Yes, and I don't care about loving. I'm not joking. Okay, but it's that the key thing here is that that's the reason why she was promoted to be our director of operations in the team. Because the thing that motivates Geraldine, unlike 99.9% of the realtors, right, which is nothing wrong with that, is that she wants to make that lasting change and impact in the industry. And I respect that because that was why I started JNA with the state.
Yeah.
I feel that marketing homes is done wrong. It's either super long and draggy videos or doing videos just to promote the team rather than the listing itself. And I hated that because it's not right.
Yeah.
Right? And right now, we have many plans moving forward. And Geraldine's main goal right now has transcended money and is now towards self-actualization in the market. This kind of purpose and passion, if you're a realtor watching this, right? The last pro tip number 10, right? If you find it hard to move forward, if you find it that you are burning out, and you're finding it that, your self-worth is based on the awards that you receive from, your company, how well you do every month, people are clapping for you for that, I'm going to let you know that, that is good, but that should not define your self-worth.
Yeah.
Because day in, day out, that tempts us. But when we fight that temptation and we say we want to do good for the market, that drives us even more, right? And I remember this quote that someone shared with me before. Whatever that we do now, if it's for the good of humans or good for mankind or good for people, it is building a shelter so that the next generation can thrive under.
Yeah.
So this is how we see real estate transactions should be done moving forward. And as long as we live, let's just do something to champion it. I think 10 to 15 to 30 years later, when I look back at the video, like, that's cliche, that's cringe. But now we'll be like, that's what pushes us every single day.
I think if you go back to our vision and mission of JNA Real Estate, we just want to be operationally excellent.
Absolutely.
In whatever we do.
Absolutely. Not video excellent. It's operationally excellent.
Operationally excellent.
Yeah, throughout the whole thing and being objective in our investments so that we can help people invest objectively and profitably. All right. Thank you so much for being on the show, Geraldine. So if you have enjoyed this episode, right, and you want to give us some love, some encouragement, please remember to like, subscribe, share, and do the customary if you feel that there are some friends who will benefit from our services, right? Or if this video is just so good, how about share? Okay, because this is one of the only ways that we promote. We don't run ads on this kind of videos, right? Because firstly, very busy. Number two is also that, we don't want it to be always in people's faces. We just want you to chance upon it and see value in it, and hopefully it really brings value for it to you, and you can promote it to your friends, okay? So thank you for watching this episode of the Locked In series. We will see you for the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.